Day 3 is underway in Ostrava and Shrynek. Today we have the hosts playing, we got Canada playing. It's going to be a great day. Before we jump into the games here, I want to give an injury update on two major ones that we saw on day 1. Jakub Lako ended up suffering a sprained MCL after his run-in with the Russians on his first shift at the tournament. A real blow not just for the Czechs but for Lako himself. I can't imagine how emotional this would be for the young forward playing in front of his nation and losing that opportunity in your first 6 seconds on the ice. On the other hand, Rasmus Kapari has sustained a horrific knee injury after his collision with Philip Broberg that could possibly put him out for months. Further MRIs will be made once he's in LA, but I've heard this can affect Kupari into next season and restrict him from next year's training camp with the Kings. Like, this could be tough for him. Now that tough news is out of the way, we can start getting into the games, and our first matchup was Germany versus the host, Czech Republic. At the beginning, the Czechs took a trip seconds into the game, leading to another early power play marker by the Germans, this time by the Nuremberg youngin Lukas Reichel, batting it in down low, much like Paterka's 2 yesterday. Germany wasn't done there. Later that period, Paterka and Stützle continued to work their magic, and after a sweet dish by Stützle, Paterka snipes home his 3rd of the tournament. Paterka is really starting to prove me wrong for ranking him so low, as I've heard many speculations of him now being a mid-first rounder. Later though, it's none other than Capitals prospect Hugo Haas, who puts the hosts on the board with a much needed power play goal. Get that crowd going, get some momentum. Late into the second, Stützle draws 2 penalties really quickly there, leading to a 5-on-3, where Dominik Bok fires home a one-timer off a feed from Moritz Seider, making it 3-1. Into the third we go, Bok strikes again on the power play, making it 4-1. But the 3-goal lead was quickly erased by Jan Jenik with a pretty similar goal. After this, it got heated. The Czechs would score another goal by Libor Zabransky, making it 4-3. But my lord, the refs really began to lose their minds here. Penalty after penalty after penalty for the Germans. In my opinion, a ton of bias calls on the Germans. For a solid 10 minutes, they couldn't get away with anything. For one there, I can remember it was Justin Schutz coming out of the box. He wasn't even able to step out of the box until another Czech player ran into him and he just got sent right back. I was like, oh man. But against all odds and a tough, nail-biting final 10 minutes, Germany sticks around for the win in what may have been one of the most intense games we'll see all tournament. This was such a nail-biter, guys. I feel bad for you guys if you didn't watch that one, because that's one I'm definitely happy I got up to watch. Our other early game featured the first proper blowout between Finland and Slovakia. The Finns came out guns a-blazing with 2 first-period tallies from Patrick Pistola and Aku Ratti. The Slovaks dealt with penalty trouble in the first 2. 3 minors and a 10-minute misconduct from Ocular for abuse of an official. I'll have to see what he did later, but this definitely did not help the morale. As we jump into the second, where things really start to took off, Jonas Odin bats in a pretty easy one, then 2021 prospect Atu Ratti slips in a slick wraparound to give the Finns a 4-0 lead. He's looking pretty confident out there for someone who, is going to get drafted next year in 2021. He's looking awesome. Goals kept coming for Finland, bringing them to 7 tallies, with a lone goal from Slovakian Robert Zugan on the power play. Finland would score 1 more from Vili Petman, as Finland secured an 8-1 victory, peppering the Slovaks with 40 shots. They were all over Vishelka and later Lava. It was tough for the Slovakians. A Summit Series matchup took place today between heated rivals Canada and Russia. And I'm just going to tell you guys, nightmare start for Canada. All of it can be summed up by Russia's early goal. McIsaac throws it away, Nico Das bobbles it into the net, and it was an offside goal. I heavily blame Canada's coaching staff for not challenging that. I even saw assistant coach Mitch Love shake his head to Dale Hunter refusing a challenge. Just bad on all levels of Canada's team here. It didn't end there though. 2 more goals would fall in. A defensive collapse in front of Doss led to a cute goal by Pavel Dorofeyev, who was recently demoted on the forward lineup, proving his management wrong, making a statement. The third one was a rebound goal from Nikita Reshev, sliding it 5-hole to create what seemed to be an unbreakable lead at the time for Russia. Russia had 17 shots in that first period alone. It did not get any better for Canada, and this is even tough for me to talk about at this point. Alexei Lafreniere drives the net hard, only to get his left leg caught between Russian goaltender Amir Miftakov, and he kind of jams it. He gets low, he bends his knee, bends his ankle, and in my eyes this can be a ligament or an ankle sprain. Further details will definitely be out tomorrow, but right now this is really scary. After that though, Nikita Alexandrov would quickly follow Russia's PK with a swift goal. Doss was given the hook after this one, and so begins Joel Hofer's World Junior debut. 2 goals later, Russia leads the second period up 6-0, and that would also be the final tally after the third as well. Russia was definitely up against a really unmotivated Canada team. I'm not going to indulge into why they lost, it was pretty obvious. Just no one was trying, and the only one I'd say was trying was Lafreniere. And sadly, him getting injured is the cherry on top to what was one of the worst nights of Canadian hockey I've ever seen. Really bad night in Ostrava for the Canadians. Up next, it was the Swiss versus the Swedes. This was played on later today, and if you guys remember last year, Sweden was upset in the quarterfinals, shut out by none other than Luca Hollenstein, who finds himself starting again against the team he shut down just last year. Although, it took no time for Sweden to make their stake this time around. 2 goals from Samuel Fajmo in the first period, and then into the second, Nils Hoglander continues to dominate the world stage after deflecting home his second of the tournament. This goal was a lot more human than his last, still great nonetheless. Sweden finishes the period showcasing draft prospect Lucas Raymond, snagged himself a beautiful cross-crease assist on Carl Henriksen's goal, and later picks up his own goal on a pretty tough angle, finding the gap past Stefan Charland. The highlight of the game, though, lands into the hands of Julien Kohler, doing his best Bryce Harper impression, scoring one hell of a baseball goal on Sweden. It was reviewed and later counted. 4-time Swiss defender Nico Gross also picked up a goal in the third to make it 5-2. In the end, though, not enough to capsize Sweden. The nation picked up their 50th preliminary victory in a row. The real question is always, though, will they carry it on into the playoffs? We get into our top players from the day here. First off, Moritz Seider. I didn't really talk about him too much there, but I didn't mention. He had 3 assists. He was playing one of the most physical games of hockey I've ever seen from someone like that. Just absolutely just grinding on everybody. So many hits. His one penalty he got is a charging too. I don't even know if it was a charging. It was a great hit. Second, Amir Miftakov, 28 save shutout versus the Canadians. Even though it may have been a bit easier than it was expected, still a great performance from the Russian goaltender. And then up last, Aatu Ratti. Coming up in the absence of Rasmus Kupari, he got himself a goal and assist today. Great work from the 2021 draft pick. It was a day mixed with triumph and mixed with tragedy. It's going to be really fun to see what happens in Group B as well. For the first time in history, every team in the group is 1-1. No overtime losses, no shootout losses, no overtime wins, no anything like that. Every team is a regulation win and a regulation loss. It's never been seen before. This is going to be a really tough Group B. It's called the Group of Death for a reason, and Germany is honestly one of the reasons why it's being such a toughie. Anyways, after a day like this, I need some rest. Gonna be watching some Kamloops Blazers tonight. Connor Zary, who I feel should have been on the team, but he wasn't. I gotta go watch him live tonight though. Anyways, have a good night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.